We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Hello and welcome to High School Famous, the podcast where you can find everything. Matt and Sean. I'm Matt.
I'm Sean.
There you go. That's all they need to know.
Yeah. So you're saying to date, we have revealed everything about us?
No, it's just this is the podcast you go to if you want to find out everything about us.
Got it.
So over time, we should hopefully check off all the boxes.
We'll eventually run out of things to reveal.
Possibly. You know, I feel like there's always room for more things to happen. I'm not going to live in a bubble for the rest of my life and just not create any new things to talk about.
Like memories or anything like that. When I hit 40, I'm going to stop.
You're going to stop?
Yep.
You're going to stop creating memories, or you're going to stop trying to create memories?
I'm going to stop having new things about me.
I feel like that's absolutely impossible unless you die. There's still going to be new things. Yeah. See, there's always going to be new things. I mean, yeah. Unless you get plugged into the Matrix or something, then your physical body, that's the only new thing that would happen. Your brain would think that new things are happening, but really they're not.
The only thing would be if I just, committed suicide on my 40th birthday or something.
Right.
That's the only way you could stop anything new happening to me.
Right.
I mean, aside from, being prepared to be buried or whatever the case may be, if I get buried or cremated.
Yeah, unless you planned it that you got buried on your 40th birthday and then that was done.
So I will have the funeral all ready to go.
Right.
So that I will just walk up to the hole in the ground.
Well, I mean, you can kill yourself before all of that.
But then stuff will keep happening to me.
No. You have to die before your 40th, and then you have to plan that everying finalizes.
So when I turn
your
40th
birthday,
it's all done.
Everything has to be done. So reading of the will, estate stuff, all of that has to be finalized and done and over with on your birthday.
Yeah.
Then no new things will happen after that.
Sounds like a lot of work, and I don't have a ton of time.
What's crazy? I feel like we all have more time than we think we have to do things. It's just that there's so many things that you can do that doesn't involve you doing anything that are just so much better, like watching a movie or stuff like that. If you have time to watch a movie, you have time to get some stuff done,
You have.
I mean, sometimes you can multitask. You can watch the movie and you can get some stuff done at the same time.
Yeah, hold on.
Like taxes. I'm going to riff here for a second. What else could I get done while watching movie? I could learn to knit. I could do some sewing. Basically, these are just all things that I, could have learned how to do in home ec class in junior high, where I successfully made a pillowcase, which is the easiest thing in the world to make because you just sew 3 edges of fabric together. You could put a puzzle together while watching a movie. I mean, those are both completely useless things to do at the same time and together. Sean is still away from his microphone right now. I feel like Sean's better at riffing the silence than I am. Oh, he's coming back. All right.
So I meant to turn off the heat before we started. I
the noise.
100% forgot, and it just full on kicked on before I got up.
And it's a loud boy.
I've even set the switch to off, and it's still going. So
it'll take a second to kick off, probably.
Yeah. So
is it a noisy boy?
It's if you can't hear it,
I can't hear it. Yeah. So I think you're probably okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you listening, if Sean sounds any different, it's because he's no longer in a tiny basement.
I'm not in any form of basement.
Sean got a new place yesterday.
Yeah, I moved yesterday.
And the most I've seen of it now is the chair behind you in that wall, and there's a little brown corner of something over there. Whatever that is. I can see the corner of it.
It's like
a divider?
No,
wardrobe.
It's
a shelf.
blinds.
I'll just keep guessing.
It's big blinds for like a sliding door.
Oh, okay. That's a pre-existing structure within the new place.
Well, no.
You didn't put that there.
The brown thing?
Yeah.
No, I did.
Oh, you did put that there. That's okay. So that's your blinds for a big screen door.
Yeah, they're currently not on a rod of any kind. They're just leaning against the wall.
Okay. So they're just long curtains.
Yes, and if I care to put them up, I'll have to get a rod to put them on. Yeah, so behind me you're seeing just a couple pillows that are resting on the back of the couch, and I'm sitting on the couch.
Okay.
And right now
on the couch. Okay.
Right now my computer is on a box.
Nice.
And
I'm sure you have an abundance of boxes at the moment.
It was only about 13 boxes in total.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. Unless you count, I mean, I'm kept the large TV box and the styrofoam inside to repack it up for the move. So that another box.
Smart. Yeah, because you bought the TV. You bought the TV recently-ish, so you knew you'd have to move it again. Smart move.
Yeah.
Now you can get rid of it.
Well, no, I'm going to keep it.
Do you have a storage unit?
I do.
Okay, there you go then.
I have to buy a padlock for it, but it's nice because I have an underground parking spot, and then the wall that when you park, you're staring at the door to your storage unit.
Oh, that's nice.
Right
so
there.
Storage units are all just right in front of each person's parking spot.
Yeah.
That's actually really nice.
Yeah. The one thing that's the couple things that I sort of discovered once I moved in is, if you move into an apartment, you have a trash chute, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is more like a townhome, so there's no trash chute. So I have to walk down to the underground parking area to throw my trash away when I'm taking it out. And then same thing for parking. I don't have direct access from inside my unit to my parking spot, so I have to go outside. I mean, I have to go outside and just walk down to it. It's not very far
because you're not in you're not in like an apartment building where you like walk down the hall or anything.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. My entrance is directly from outside, so I just walk up to my door and open and go in. And
do you live in a motel? Is that what's happening?
I live on a motel.
On top of one. They built they built an apartment on top of a hotel.
Nope. I'm on the roof of a motel. It's freezing.
Oh, it's nice looking though on the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, you have a place to rest your blinds.
I bought I fabricated this background and I bought a green screen. So you are looking at the image of what I wish was behind me.
Oh, okay.
But actually it's a bunch of frozen landscape.
Children. No.
Frozen children. strewn about the landscape.
There's just death and destruction behind me right now.
Yep. Constant. I don't know why someone would build a motel here, considering all the chaos that's constantly going on.
Ancient child burial ground.
They're like, we can charge low rates.
So the move went well?
Yes. I think I brought the U-Haul back an hour early.
Ooh, wow.
Man, it is. You forget how tiring it is to move.
Moving? Oh my God, it's the worst, dude.
I had two helpers, Mike and Mark, help me out, and before they showed up, because the woman at the rental office wanted me to be there around noon to sign the paperwork, and I picked up the truck at 10. So that would have given me 2 hours. I'm like, well, so they didn't get to my place right away. So I just started loading up all the boxes by myself, which a lot of them are really heavy. So by the time they got here, I was pretty wiped already.
Well, yeah, because you have to all the way up that, it's a fairly long flight of stairs.
I had to go up the stairs.
Especially when you're carrying a heavy box.
Yep. I had to go up all the stairs every time and then out the back yard, out the gate into the driveway, and then walk up the ramp up to the truck. And then, yeah. And then the worst thing to move was probably, it was two things. It was the couch and then the big wide dresser I have.
Yeah.
Just because of their size. And then, I mean, not necessarily the weight, but the size made it awkward.
They're especially going up a staircase that's, walls on both sides of you, and you're trying desperately not to hit the walls, and you're carrying a awkward ass couch.
And so the dresser, my place now has 2 levels, and the dresser was going upstairs. in
Okay.
here too. So, but Mike, he's like, we're gonna do this and this and this, and this is how we're gonna get it through all that, and it worked.
Yeah. He worked for that moving company for a while, so
Yeah,
he
so he
probably
knows
has a
what he's talking
few
about.
tricks of the trade.
The best part though, so for some of it, Mike was just in the back of the truck setting some smaller things near the very back for Mark and I to just grab. And
Right.
then I have one of those tall plastic wrapping paper holders. It holds all your
Okay.
tubes of wrapping paper. And that was like the last thing in the truck it was one of the last things in the truck, and then Mark had laid claim to it. He's like, I'm taking that because it's very lightweight and it's easy to
Right.
carry. And we were all so beat by then. So he claimed that he called dibs on taking that.
Right.
And then Mike and I grabbed some of the last boxes and we're carrying those and we're getting those in. But then Mark decided to grab the very last box that there was.
Okay.
So that means that all that was left in the truck was the wrapping paper thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mike and I are sitting there like, hey, you called it. So
Yep.
I know you're carrying this last heavy box, but you're also going to go back and carry the other thing that you called dibs on. And he's like,
Right.
nope. He's like, I'm not going back in that truck again. I don't care if I call dibs, you know? And so while Mark was inside putting the box wherever it was supposed to go, I go to Mike. I go, Mike, you and I are going to two-person carry that wrapping paper holder.
The lightest goddamn thing I own.
So we from the truck, we're walking down the ramp. We're carrying it carefully. We're walking slowly, and then Mark came out and saw us do it. And he lost it. So that was the highlight of the move, I think.
Nice. So you just been slowly unpacking now since then, or did you just take last night off? Said screw it.
I set I put the two beds together,
Mm-hmm.
and got all those ready to be slept in, and then but that's mostly it. I did a lot more unpacking and sort of organizing today. I got to do a bunch of cleaning still, but I had to go to Target to get some essential stuff that, you know, like a front rug and, you know, toilet brushes and, you know, just stupid stuff.
Right. All the stuff that you realize as soon as you get in, like, crap, now I need all these items. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I still have to do sometime today, my sort of walk around and check off, like mark off any areas of concern to bring to the office tomorrow. There's a couple things.
I say it's been a while since you've rented, so it's all these things that you have to do that you don't remember.
It's been since 2009.
Yeah.
So, but you know, a lot of these, you know, there's those twofold closet doors that are on those tracks.
Yeah.
Right? A bunch of these doors here were like coming off of the tracks. And so I said, hey, you guys need to fix these doors before I move in. So she's like, oh yeah, they fixed all the doors. I tried opening one of so that they all seem to be good, except one of my closet doors. It's just the top is just not on the track whatsoever. And I looked, and some part, like the piece of hardware that keeps it in the track at the wide end of like the far end of the door, not the part that rolls back and forth, but the part at the other end must have got like hammered into the door or something, because the wood is split.
Oh, really?
And the metal hardware is just buried in the door, and so there's no way. I think unless they try to pull it out and glue the door or something cheap,
right?
I'm gonna need a brand new door for that closet. Otherwise, there's no way to do that. Then there's simple dumb stuff like, you know, it's those long plastic blinds, those vertical blinds. You twist the thing, and there's some that are a couple of windows have a missing blind strip.
Right.
But for them, I mean, that's basically all I've seen so far without really combing through.
Right.
Yeah. And one thing, people, I mean, this might seem weird, but whenever you're looking for a place, if you're looking at, especially for renting, because if you buy a house, if you don't like something, you can just replace it.
Right.
But if you're looking for a rental, it might seem weird, but have a seat on the toilets. See how big or small they are.
Or if they're loose.
Right. But these are tiny toilets.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're tiny.
You'll get used to them.
Yeah. But then we went out to have some food because we all realized that this was now like 4 in the afternoon and none of us had eaten anything the entire day. So we went out to get some food and then, they left and I went and got.
And I never saw them again.
Yeah. Well, so far. But went out and got some stuff back at the house that I couldn't grab at the time and grabbed Leo and then he came over here and he's still here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you haven't seen him since?
Since the last time I saw him, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it goes all the time.
Yeah. When I went back to the house, I also had to grab the dog.
That's right. I forgot you get the dog in the arrangement.
Yeah. It's really more because it's a combination of things, but most of it is she is always by me anyway. Like
right.
If she went upstairs and someone closed the door, she would bark to get back downstairs because I'm just the one she's chosen to want to be around. So Sarah thought that she would basically lose her mind if I all of a sudden was just gone. And then she would probably go kind of comatose in a way, just not want to live life anymore.
Yeah, I had a cat that did that.
Yeah? Went comatose?
Yeah, basically. Remember that white cat I had that I found out at the golf course?
Yes.
Yeah, after when I moved in with Mark and Travis, the cat stayed with my parents, and then after that he just stopped like eating and all sorts of stuff.
Quit his job, didn't call his friends anymore.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Started giving all of his stuff away.
Yeah, I think he ended up having like liver failure or something in the end because I think he was already a very old cat when I found him.
Oh, so he started drinking.
Yeah.
Oh, drinking heavily, giving away all his possessions.
Mm-hmm.
This is a classic sign.
Leaving Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Scenario.
I've never seen that movie.
I actually
read the
don't
book
think
if
I've
there's a
seen
book.
it either.
Hmm?
I said I don't think I've actually seen that movie either.
All I know is
it's
it's starring Nicolas Cage and someone else.
Well, probably a bunch of different people, but Elizabeth Shue is the other main actress in it.
I can't think. I know I've heard that name before, but I can't.
She
think
was
of
in The
it.
Karate Kid. She was Danny LaRusso's girlfriend.
Who's Danny LaRusso?
The Karate Kid.
Oh,
she was also Jennifer in the Back to the Future 2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Now I know. See, you should have led with that.
She was,
now I know.
Yeah. I realized that afterwards. I'm like, if I need to reference anything, if it has something to do with Back to the Future, that's how you'll understand it. That's your Kevin Bacon game. Is somehow if it relates back to the Future, you'll get it and you'll understand it.
6
degrees of Back to the Future.
Yeah, I could probably tie things in that number of degrees or less.
Probably.
What do you so the whole thing, like the whole 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right?
Yeah.
You basically connect people by way of, well, so and so was in a movie with so and so, and that person was in a movie with Kevin Bacon, something like that.
Yeah, you try to do it in as few steps as possible.
What's the lowest level of association where it counts? Where like you could include that in the game. Like, let's say, obviously, if two actors are in a movie together, that's easy. But let's say someone is a grip on that movie. Do they count as being associated with, like, sort of indirectly associated with Kevin Bacon in that way?
I think it would have. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's always just kind of been actors for the most part.
Sure.
You know, or like if it's a band member in his band, the Bacon Brothers.
I didn't know that existed.
he's got a brother. He's got a band with his brother.
The reason I ask is because several years ago at that shopping channel I worked at, I forget what she came on to sell, but Denise Richards came on one time.
Oh.
And she walked by me in the hallway once and looked at me and said hi, and I said hi back. And so I didn't know if that put me as like a 1 degree.
I mean, I'd say in that moment, yeah, you were. But I mean, you guys don't kick it or nothing, so.
No. And I never worked, like I never did any of the shows that she sold stuff on.
Yeah,
So I can't even say.
Yeah, I wouldn't count it. It's that you had a brief interaction with Denise Richards. Yeah.
So I still have to figure out how many degrees away from Kevin Bacon I really am then.
Yeah.
I mean, through that job, I've met some people. I could probably find a way to, maybe not 6 degrees, but
I would say you'd have to have at least an acquaintanceness to somebody, or I guess if you worked with somebody, that would work. If you worked with somebody on shop and then they've from there, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
that would work.
I could find a way.
Hmm?
Well, like any of the hosts that, so I worked with all the hosts that would have done a show with Denise Richards.
Yeah, then I'd say you're two.
So I'm
2 degrees.
I'm 2 degrees. I'm 2 degrees from Kevin Bacon.
Okay. I don't know how many degrees away I am. I'm probably more than 2.
Have you met anyone famous?
I have met famous people. Yes.
Do you kick it with them? As you say,
I know.
In your own words.
When I said that, I was very upset with myself. No, but like I worked with people that I worked with out at the Renaissance Festival know a lot of very big people.
So you might be able to make a connection that way.
Yeah, like I know I'm only like 2 degrees away from Penn and Teller.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because Penn and Teller kind of started off at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so a lot of people that I worked with out there worked directly with them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I know that through when you were doing that and when you were doing that vilification tennis thing, you worked with some of the local Minnesota improv people.
Yeah.
And I know that they once did a web show that was it was a big improv week of something, and right. I know that they did a show where Colin Mockery was on with them.
Okay.
Now it was all on Zoom, so they weren't physically, but they did an improv show.
They worked together.
So you probably know some of them that maybe would have that direct working relationship with Colin Mockery, and maybe you can find a way there.
Yeah, I could figure stuff out.
So by next week, I want you to find out how many degrees away from Kevin Bacon you are.
Okay. I'd say I could probably get there. I can definitely get there in at least 6.
Yeah.
I can probably do it in 4 or 5, I would say. Because actually, if I go, it'd be quicker to go through my mom, because my mom knows people who know very famous people. So
very good.
Yeah. Because I know long time ago, my mom met Steve Zahn through a friend. And if you remember who Steve Zahn is, let me try to Back to the Future it somehow. Hold on.
But hold on. No, we're off that. We're on Kevin Bacon now. But so your mom met someone, but that does that count? Would you be able to
I was saying I would say degrees if I did degrees away from. No, because my mom knows people that actually know him. So it would be my mom, then the person that knows him, and then him. So it'd be So it'd be I'm technically 3 degrees from Steve Zahn. I'm just using that as a reference of the fact that
right.
I met the actor Kyle Chandler. I don't know if you remember who he is. There was a show back in the 90s called Early Edition, where he would get tomorrow's newspaper today, and it would have big headlines, and he would go and try to if it was some disaster, he would go and try to prevent the thing from happening. That was filmed out here in Chicago, and we came out here as kids in Chicago and got to go onto the set of that show.
Oh,
so because my mom's friend Mike is, and I think my mom also, I think they all worked together. The woman who produced that show, they were friends. So she invited us out to the set. We got to watch them film a scene and stuff, which was kind of cool. So there's this scene where they're in the office, and he's talking to a person behind a desk. The person behind the desk wasn't there. Somebody was feeding those lines to him. So we were literally 3 feet away from him in this tiny little room watching him do his scene.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty cool actually.
You know what? Another way you might have is I know Travis went out and lived in California for a while and did sort of PA work.
Yeah.
So I know he met I think he said he met Patton Oswalt, and I think
Oswalt. He actually kind of hung out with Patton Oswalt a bit on that set.
Also, Al, he knew the the recently departed Louis Anderson.
Oh yeah.
I forget how, but he knew him. And then Ashley Riddle does a lot of like assistant editing type of stuff out there. So
people,
there's you got ways, you got many many avenues.
I mean, you do as well. You're just saying I have many avenues, but you know all those people, and you knew that they had those connections that I didn't even know about.
I know, but the thing is, we already figured me out. I'm 2 degrees. We don't need to figure out my degree of separation from Kevin Bacon.
Right.
You do. I'm telling you all the ways that you could figure out how.
I don't have to, but yeah.
Right, but how fun would that be?
So fun.
So fun.
I have nothing better to do.
Just when we were doing it earlier, for me, it was real fun.
Yeah,
and I can
tell. I'm super glad that you're sitting down.
And now it made me forget that I'm on the roof of a motel with chaos
on top
behind
of a
me.
bunch of dead children.
Yeah, it made me forget all about that, and I'm just focusing on how much fun I had figuring out how many degrees I was.
Warms you right up
away from Kevin Bacon. Well, bacon is best served warm.
This is true. I'd say hot even.
Yeah, I mean, I have had cold bacon, but you want to make it hot first.
You do. There's something about it that just makes you want to do it.
Yeah. There's something about bacon that makes you not want to eat it raw.
Yeah, it just makes you want to heat it up. Just something about it.
There's just something about that food that makes me want to make it edible.
Oh, man.
Like, you can get sick from eating raw bacon, correct?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you can get sick from eating raw almost anything.
Raw apples?
I mean, depends on how raw they are.
Bananas, strawberries, oranges, blueberries.
For a second, I thought when I said it depends on how raw they are, and you said bananas. I'm like, they're so raw, they're bananas. This apple is so raw, it's bananas.
Oh my god, this apple's in its banana phase still. No one eat it.
It's still a larva.
A larva.
Yeah.
Bananas are never in larva stage.
I don't know.
See, you went a way different direction. You crossed it over with insects.
Oh, I crossed the line.
Yeah. Well, I didn't say that.
I took it too far.
I didn't even say that.
How dare you compare fruit to insects?
I do like that both of us have honored our pronouns from the previous episode.
I forgot that you chose your pronoun to just be your name.
Yeah. I
remembered to do that like the second I was about to hit like enter the room, and I'm like, oh wait, I got to put my pronoun in.
Yeah, I was just going to leave it blank, but I'm like, oh wait, I said that I wanted mine to be Sean, so I just did it.
I guess my other pronoun could be we as well. I could be us and we, because both of them would just be a mess.
That would be
in any sort of conversation.
Well, that would make it worse, because if you just left it as us, the only word that is troubling is the word us. Now you're going to turn 2 words into a problem.
Yeah, that's the point. I'm trying to I need the world to understand who I am and what I am. Okay. I am we and I am us.
And what type of support animal do you also choose to bring on every travel or every trip?
A bald eagle.
A fully plucked bald eagle?
No, a fully grown bald eagle.
Bald eagles are big.
They are big.
That's that's what I've learned so far.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I wanted to describe when you said a fully plucked, I literally wanted to describe it as a full male adult bald eagle. And it's like, and then I just thought, like, do people describe animals in that way at all?
I don't think so.
This dog is an adult male.
Yeah, they're just
adult male, 55 pounds.
Describing a perp.
Yeah, adult male, 55 pounds, brown hair all over. Last seen panting.
Do male and female quote unquote bald eagles look the same? Do they both have the white head?
Why quote unquote?
Well, because let's say one of the sexes, they're all the same color. There's no like white head.
I know they're that's a good question.
Because the bald eagle gets its name from the head being a different color of the rest of its feathers. So if one of the sexes is not carrying that same look, that's why I quoted bald eagle, because it wouldn't really match the name. Yeah,
I'm wondering if it would still is it just called an eagle at that point? I'm literally like I'm actually
looking
curious enough to look.
Wow.
So male bald eagle images, all I'm seeing is white heads. Now, if I add fee in front of that, hold on. I'm seeing a bit of both here. Hold on.
So in the movie, now this is a cartoon.
No, yeah, adult females will have white heads as well.
Okay.
Yep. So, but the thing is, the bald, it's just like most humans, the bald eagle becomes bald with age.
Oh, really?
They start off with their feathers are all brown, and as they get older, then the head turns white. At like 3.5 years, their head is still a little bit brown and white.
Oh.
According to this photo, I'm going to kind of show you.
I see the stages of eagle pattern baldness.
Yeah. Before they develop what is called definitive plumage.
What that would be funny if they just called it completely bald at that point. Yeah, they like it starts off as thinning or receding, and then mostly bald, and then completely bald.
Right.
Because I questioned that because now this is a cartoon, but in the Disney movie Rescuers Down Under,
I knew you were going Rescuers Down Under.
The bald eagle whose eggs they're trying to protect is a female. She's the mother, and she's got the white head, just like you would expect any other eagle. So
yeah, it looks like both males and females do have the white head.
Now, as far as I know, but all those who clamor in and chime in and give input on what we say here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think you ever see the eggs hatch. Because it would be interesting to know if they showed the baby eagles with brown feathers on their head.
In the movie.
In the movie. I don't think they ever show the eggs hatch.
Like in life. I'm like, huh? You never do they really exist? You never see the eggs hatch.
You never even see baby eagles.
Yeah. I think there only is adult eagles. There's no such thing as baby eagles.
Right.
I've never seen one.
It's the most painful childbirth.
Oh, giving birth to a full-grown adult.
I guess you would call it adult birth then.
Yeah.
When birds talk to each other, they say, "I'm with adult."
That would have to be, for one, that would have to be cesarean section.
I'm with full-grown adult male.
Didn't even need an ultrasound to know it.
No,
it was super obvious. Thought I was getting kicked. Nope. It was definitely something else.
Oh, I see what happened there.
Yeah, you could see the imprint on the belly.
Got it.
At what point, at what stage in an adult pregnancy, at what stage would that mother be put on bed rest? It would have to be, for a 9-month development to get a full grown, it would have to be month 2.
So are you still talking eagles?
No.
Or are you talking a human?
No, because birds lay eggs.
Oh, that's right. So you're talking a human that will give birth.
Talking about a human. So if there was a human, a human giving birth to an adult human, at what stage would that mother have to be put on bed rest? Because she literally, physically would not be able to move. And imagine
so we're going off of the
stretch marks are already a bad thing for women.
Right. So we're going off of an adult being an 18-year-old.
Sure, but it's a full, you're pretty much fully grown at that point. There's probably some growing going on. So
yeah, I'm
not imagining coming out as a 30-year-old or something.
Right. So take a couple years off of that, maybe 16-ish, 15-ish. I don't know how well they do by age 3.
Well, I'm saying that the gestation period is still 9 months.
Sure, but so
you're not carrying 18 years.
No. But what you're asking is, at what developmental age is the mother no longer able to move around? It has to be bedridden.
So you're saying by the time the child would be the size of a 3-year-old,
right?
So doing some math. So what that'd be so say it's an 18-year-old. So let's do easy math. Say it's the size and shape of an 18-year-old. Sorry, it's a weird way to describe it.
He's as big as an 18-year-old, but he's in the shape of a 4-year-old. I don't know how that works.
But okay, just for the easy math, 18-year-old, because 18, 9, easy, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if you're saying 3-year-old, so we're saying 1.5 months. After 1.5 months of, we're calling it gestation period because it's all I can think
I
of.
see what you're going for here. Yeah.
That would be bedridden.
In this case, yes. Considering
That's
the
insane.
size that it
Because
is.
some of that time, like early on in the bedridden, I guess not bedridden, but bed rest. Early on, it would be you're on bed rest because, okay, you can get up, you can use the bathroom, stuff like that. Not long after that, you are going to be bedridden. Like you will not be able to leave that bed until that adult is out of you. That is not a sentence I ever thought I would say. You can't leave this bed till that adult is out of you.
What if?
Yes, we're still doing this.
What if? Okay, stick with me on this.
I've already gone past you, so I'm just catch up.
No, how do you know that? You don't even know what I'm going to say.
No, I'm just saying everything I've already said.
Okay. Anyway,
in my head, that made sense.
Sure, that's the problem. That's where it stopped. Let's say this is how birthing really is, and we discovered that there's a much better way, and the better way is to just make sure that every human. Now, what I'm saying is,
yeah, what are you saying?
Humans are naturally born at 18 years, but not within a 9-month gestation period, like an 18-year gestation period. So we figured it's much better because the baby has to be at a certain stage of development to be able to survive outside of the womb.
Right.
So rather than go the full 18 years, which is the natural way, which is God's way, we decided to cut it 897 weeks short.
That's what you were doing over there is math?
Yes. Well, you wanted you were doing math too.
I did easy math. I did easy math.
Well, all I did was take 18 times 52 to figure out how many weeks that is.
Yeah, but I was wondering why you were being 39 weeks.
Subtract the 39 weeks of a pregnancy term. So 897 weeks early is the cutoff we decided on as a species to make this much more bearable for mothers.
My baby's 800. What was it? 897?
897 weeks early.
My baby's 897 weeks premature.
Yeah.
We decided. I like how we decided that.
Well,
because you can induce labor, yes. But did we do it? So you're saying like that was always the way, right? In this alternate universe that you're creating right now, it was always previous to this. It was always the way. We gestated till 18 years old, and then you popped out or you were dragged out, however it happened. And we decided that no, we can't keep doing this. We're going to start inducing labor. And we induced labor so much for so long that eventually it just became, women just started doing it on their own.
Here's why we did it, right? Because if you really think about an 18-year-old human being being inside another adult, just listen.
I'm so glad you didn't say his mother.
Another human being, right? What was happening was the mothers were never going to survive. It's basically like shedding a skin at that point, because the new person would take up the entire inside of the old person, and then they would basically like split open, and the new person would shed the layer of the old person off. So mothers just basically they would turn into cocoons, basically. Yeah.
And then the new baby would pop out as the, fresh new butterfly.
The fresh new adult. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you became pregnant, it was a death sentence.
Right.
So we medical science, we calculated the point at which it is the least detrimental to the mother to be able to give birth and survive.
Yeah, we found the perfect medium.
Right, and the baby would still be developed enough to be able to survive outside of the mother's body. So
gotcha. Thank you.
And
science.
I don't know why you're claiming this is an alternate universe. This is how it went. This is how it came to be.
I'm sorry. It's just it was hard to believe, and then you explained it to me, so now I get it. It all makes sense now. Anyway, So to like just completely change the subject because I don't know what any of that just was. So my day started off a little fun.
Oh, really? Like
yeah.
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon fun?
No, like almost burnt down the apartment fun.
Oh,
yeah. So
luckily I haven't done that.
Yeah, so I was, I was sleeping, doing a little dreaming, like you do. And in my dream, I was like, something smells like it's on fire. Mm-hmm. And then Iman,
still tired.
Iman fucking wakes me up. Something's on fire. I'm like, what? Wasn't a dream. Okay, what the fuck?
Tell me you sprung up and said my dream came true. What a dream come true.
No. But that would have been great.
Oh my gosh, that would have been the best. Too bad you weren't quick enough to think of that in the moment.
No, so run into the other room. We think it's the little space. We had like a little space heater running. So unplug that or whatever. I'm like, this thing's brand new. Like it shouldn't be like it's weeks old. I'm smelling on that thing. I'm like, this doesn't smell like it's been burning at all. Huh? Interesting. Look at the outlet that it was plugged into. Melted.
Whoa.
Try to plug the cord out that was hooked to that. Sparks, flame, shit. Leaving that alone. So yeah. So there's like a big black scorch mark on the wall.
Oh wow.
Call the maintenance guy. I'm like, so this happened.
My wall needs to be descorched immediately.
Yeah, sent him a photo of the scorched wall, which looks like that.
Yeah.
So I'm showing Sean the picture of
that's
that
mean
looked
looking.
Like. Yeah, turns out not a great idea to what I thought made sense to me. Plugging a space heater into a surge protector, so if anything goes bad, the surge protector will pop. Apparently, you have to make sure you have the right level surge protector that will work with that. So yeah, lesson learned there.
Yes.
So this is the outlet after it came out.
Whoa, dude.
Yeah, that one whole socket completely melted. And then that's the plug of the protector that was in it. It ripped the ground wire right out. It was still stuck in the outlet.
Yeah, that thing was pulling more juice than the surge protector could handle.
So, long story short, don't plug space heaters into surge protectors. Plug them directly into the wall. So,
well, I even looked up a long time ago if you could plug in a microwave to an extension cord.
Yeah,
and they even say no, never do that.
Yeah, it's not recommended. Don't just plug any appliance. Just plug it if you can plug it directly into a wall. If you can't,
don't plug it in.
Don't plug it in or unplug it when you're done. Use it for that short period, but then unplug it and move on because that could have been bad. But luckily, in the end, all was well. It was easily fixed and replaced, and I just had to go down, and we have old fuse boxes that you have the old screw-in fuses. So I had to shut everything down so he could switch the thing out. I had to literally unscrew each fuse to shut all my power down. But all is well. Nobody died. Nobody was harmed. The apartment smelled like burnt plastic I think still kind of does a little bit, but
what
a fun day.
Was Iman sleeping too?
She was sleeping too, and then
so why are you sleeping? Found
it out.
Why are both of you sleeping with a space heater running?
She has the space heater running because she gets cold feet.
Sure.
So she has the space heater running to keep everything warm. Apartments are drafty sometimes, especially old buildings.
Yeah. So I would never sleep with a space heater on. I mean,
that's the way we roll in this household. So Sean keeps getting distracted by his son.
It's like, and it's something completely that is not. It doesn't have to happen right now. This does not have to be happening right now. But he insists.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was my day in a nutshell of nearly burning down the apartment.
This was supposed to not happen anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Yes. Anyway, sorry. So hopefully that's the only crazy event.
Yeah. Other than that,
for you today.
Other than that, today was Yeah, I had to shovel. It snowed a bunch last night, but so I had to go out and shovel my car out and clean it off. But other than that, so I went from like extreme hot to extreme cold.
Yeah.
Fire and ice, baby.
That'll get your nose running.
Yeah, clear out your sinuses.
I got to get into my very nicely heated vehicle because it's parked underground.
I think it's weird. Yeah, I think it's weird. You still, no matter what, you still have to go outside.
Yeah,
get to your car. It's kind of like, well, either way, I'm getting in the cold.
It's only going to slightly suck in the in the winter months. In the summer, it'll just be walking outside, but which it is in the winter too. It's still walking outside no matter what season it is.
Yep.
In the summer, it's just going to be walking outside.
I'll just describe it differently.
Yeah. I got alerts. I just deleted the app, but I was still getting alerts on the cameras at the house.
Oh, yeah.
Seeing someone else out there with the snowblower, and I'm like, that's not me.
Yep.
And I'm so glad that's
there
not
is
me.
a joy. There is a joy to that of not having to deal with clearing snow. I mean, I'm inevitably I have to if I get buried in when I'm parked because I have to park on the street. But like last year, I think I shoveled out about 7 different spots throughout the winter because you shovel a nice spot out, then you're like, all right, going to work, coming home.
Someone else takes it.
Shoveling out a new spot so I can park again. It's like inevitable. Like the spot I shoveled out today, I actually shoveled out a chunk of the road as well because where I was parked is the end of the parking, and then there was like a whole spot where I used to park all the time until they came and repainted the road and decided that was no longer a parking spot. So they just hashed it all out, and it's like a car can clearly fit here.
Yeah.
But that was all buried in snow, and I'm like, well, if I'm going to come and pull in here, I don't want to have to drive through all that snow to pull in. So I shoveled all of that out all the way to the corner, and then I ended up shoveling because my street doesn't really get plowed.
You're doing the city's work.
Yeah, sort of. I ended up shoveling that crosswalk because it was super slippery and people were slipping and sliding trying to walk across my street. So I'm like, I'm already out here. I just shoveled the crosswalk real quick across my street too.
The funny thing about you shoveled the crosswalk?
Yeah.
Dude, you must have.
If I want to cross the street later, I don't want to slip and slide and fall. So I'm like, I'm already out here. It took me
the plow's job.
Took me like 30 seconds, but they do not plow my street. That's the problem.
And
if they do, they literally just plow the middle of the street and bury everybody's cars right back in.
The house I just moved out of is on the corner. So, and there's a sidewalk that wraps around. So I would always have to clear the sidewalk in the front of the house and then the whole side of the house leading up to the alley.
Yeah.
And it dawned on me a while back that I own. I don't even know if I owned those parts of the sidewalk.
Right.
I think that's still owned by the city, but it's my no.
Technically, property lines run into the middle of the street.
Okay, so the whole reason that so it snows a ton, right? It snows, and then you have to go out there and clear the sidewalks because I don't know how often this really happens, but you could probably get fined or something or get some kind of ticket or something if you don't clear it within a certain amount of time. It's something like 24 hours after the snow stops, you have that much time to then clear what has snowed.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, I own this. This sidewalk is owned by me, but I will get a fine or some kind of penalty or something. I'll get I'll get a slap on the hand or something if I don't clear snow off of this thing I own for a bunch of people that just want to continue to walk around as though it didn't snow.
Right.
They're like, I want to be able to continue walking on this part as though the snow never came. So you need to clear this away, even though you own it. I'm like, well, can I just so when I thought of that, I thought, can I just put no trespassing signs on my sidewalk?
No, because even though you I guess you don't really own the sidewalk, but the sidewalk is on your property. So it's still a city owned thing, but you have to maintain it as part of being the property owner.
As being the owner of that plot of land
that sidewalk is on. Yep.
Right.
And since it's general upkeep, just like you have to mow your yard or you can get a fine. You have to maintain your yard to a certain degree, or they can come and tell you need to do it.
it's all for appearances too, because the neighbors don't want your yard looking like garbage.
Yeah, it screws with property values and all of that.
Right.
But yeah, so I mean, because if something happens to the sidewalk, you don't have to fix it. The city still has to come fix it. So it's
That's
the
true.
city's,
So yeah, it's not.
it's the city's
owned by-
sidewalk, but it's on your property. So you have to maintain, to a degree, you have to maintain it.
So the city decides to just put some concrete on my property, and now I have to keep it clear.
And they don't have to ask you.
No.
That's the fun part. Because like right now, my parents, that's all torn to shit because they're through the town, they're burying all the power lines underground. So they're getting rid of all the power poles. And then when they do that, they're going to put a sidewalk down that side of the street. There's never
Directly
been a sidewalk.
above power lines.
Probably actually. No, well, they're probably off a little bit just to, not if they do need to get to the power lines, they're probably not going to want to have to tear up the whole sidewalk again. But so now they're going to be putting a sidewalk throughout that whole side of the street all the way up to town. And I don't think my parents didn't sign anything saying, you can do this. They're just like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. You have no choice.
Yeah. What sucked though is right at their house, there was something wrong with the house next to them that caused them not to be able to fully bury all the power lines. So the power lines even going to the houses are underground, and then they come up into the power boxes, right? Up into the meters. But for whatever reason, the house next to my parents' house, they couldn't do that. So there's still a pole with power lines coming from that pole. So the power lines come underground to that pole, and then from that pole, they go across to their house. And I believe even my parents' house will still, I can't remember if my parents' house will still have underground or if their lines are going to still go across. I think theirs are still going to be underground. But it's just like, well, all this nice work, and then there's still going to be one power pole sitting here off the street. Like, it's kind of hidden by a tree, but it's still like, what a dumb little eyesore now after all of this work, that there's still going to be this one power pole because of this dumb house next to us. It's all a piece of shit. But then the next thing after that is they're redoing all the water and sewer under the street. So then they're going to tear the whole freaking street up. So it's going to be a nightmare going through that town for the next couple of years.
I know it would probably be too big of a coordination and an undertaking to try to do all that all at the same time. But
I don't think they would have been able to physically do it all at the same time, because then you literally would not be able to go down that street in or out in any way. I think they literally have to put in a temporary road somewhere so that people can get out. Because you know how that behind my parents' house is that whole development, but there's only one way, or there's only two ways in and out of that whole development in the back, and they're both onto Main Street at just different points.
Yeah.
So if they're tearing everything up, there's going to be ways. People wouldn't be able to get up to the town unless they go all the way south up that hill and then back around through Fletcher. You remember where Fletcher is, where me and you got pulled over going to a movie and got searched, and Brooke was in the back of the car and they didn't make her get out.
I'm remembering this. I remember Fletcher anyway, but
okay.
Now I'm.
Well, then needless explanation. They would either way. They would have to go all the way up. They would have to go all the way up that way, back around, and then into town, which would be miles and miles out of the way.
What was the movie?
I do not remember, because it was before superhero movies, and I don't remember anything before superhero movies.
Okay.
No, I don't remember what the movie was we were trying to go see, but we were running late and speeding horrendously through a town that I knew always had a cop sitting in that corner.
And we know you were driving.
And I was driving.
Because I didn't drive then.
I don't think either of you drove at that point.
I have no idea when Brooke started driving.
Yeah.
It was still before me.
She did. She might have been driving at that point. Because she might have been driving because she maybe drove you down to my house, and then I drove to the movie theater. I mean, we didn't end up going to the movie theater anyways, because we got pulled over and
we missed
delayed.
the movie.
We missed the movie. Probably something with Kevin Bacon.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Maybe it was what's that movie where he's like invisible?
Oh, Hollow Man?
Hollow Man. Was it Hollow Man?
Probably not. I don't think I would have went and see that in the theaters.
What Kevin Bacon movie would you see in the theater?
It's a good
Apollo
point.
13?
I probably did see that in the theater.
I might have seen that in the theater too.
Yeah.
What do you mean? He's the third guy there.
I know, but it's not a
Tom
movie
Hanks,
that's on
Bill
my.
Paxton, and Kevin Bacon. Those are the three.
Yeah, but who's the actor that was supposed to go? Or
I don't know his real name, but he's the
guy.
guy who was Lieutenant Dan in Forrest Gump. I don't know his real name.
Shit, I had it and now I lost it. I was gonna be all fucking cool about it. Gary Sinise, there we go.
Lieutenant Sinise.
I'm like, who's the actor that was? I'm like, who's the actor that was supposed to go?
That was supposed to go into space.
Yeah. Who was the actor that played the guy that was supposed to go?
Oh, Ed Harris. Oh, no. Ed Harris was at Mission Control.
Yes. And The Truman Show.
He was at Mission Control and The Truman Show.
Yep.
Those were the two places Ed Harris was at the time.
Yep. And The Rock.
He was at The Rock as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was also in The Abyss.
Yep.
Like the place, not the movie.
Yeah. I mean, both. He's very versatile.
He really championed the making of the movie about the place he had been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like, Ron Howard, we need to get on this right now.
Ron Howard, did he direct The Abyss?
I think he did, but now I need to
look it up.
I know he directed Cocoon.
Oh, so that of course, his follow-up must have been The Abyss.
There's water in that movie. There's water in that movie.
Okay, there's water in Deep Blue Sea. There's water in Waterworld.
He directed that. Fuck! It was James Cameron.
Oh,
I knew that
man.
too. I knew it was James Cameron.
And he directed Titanic.
Why did I think it was Ron Howard?
I don't know.
No, Ron Howard directed Willow and many other great movies, actually. So I'm just like,
you're like
pigeonholing him into
of all the movies Ron Howard's directed. You go with Willow.
Yeah, why not? It's a great movie.
He directed some of Solo.
Oh, did he direct some of that movie?
He was the one that after Lord and Miller got fired, he was the one who came in to fix it.
Oh, what'd you think of Solo?
It didn't land well with me. I didn't. I had no
I thought
interest.
It was all right.
Yeah, I
wasn't wowed by it, but I'm like, it's all right. It's kind of a fun movie.
I'd have to see it again. I remember not really like loving it when I watched it. And some people have pointed out like not everything has to have like you don't need to see the origin of everything.
Yeah, exactly. The whole his name.
I don't need to see where
dumb.
he got his dice.
Yeah, or how he got his name.
I heard. Oh, that's right. They do that too. I heard someone
a throwaway thing.
I heard someone point out that because Solo was made before or after The Force Awakens, right?
Mm-hmm. And after, I believe it was after. What was the other one? What was the other standalone? No, the other standalone one.
Rogue One.
Rogue One. It was after Rogue One.
It was after that too. But either way, in one of the movies, I forget if it's Force Awakens or if it's The Last Jedi. I believe it must have been the Last Jedi. I think I forget it. Either way, Luke, I believe it was Luke, gives Leia the dice, those little gold dice from the Millennium Falcon. But then the Solo movie gets made, and you see that those dice have like a strong tie to that other love interest of Han Solo,
right?
And so then someone's like, "What a dumb gift to give to Leia when that has such a strong connection to another woman. Like, why would you give her out of all the things Han Solo had? Why would you give Leia those dice?
But like, hey, I know how much you loved Han, but he originally loved someone else.
Yeah,
I just want to remind you that since he's dead.
Yep,
and you're gonna die soon too.
Oh,
just like the franchise.
Hey, the Disney Plus shows are they're.
I haven't watched the Boba Fett one yet. But I love The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian's fun and good and great.
Boba Fett I've seen all the episodes so far. It's good. They ran into some trouble because what people knew of, like what people are expecting Boba Fett to be, that's what they made. Like Mandalorian was kind of that,
right? And
so now they make a Boba Fett show, and they're like, well, we can't just do the same kind of show.
Yeah.
So they kind of had to change how Boba Fett is now. And some people are not happy with it.
Yeah, well, that's every fucking thing. That's
I know.
You're not going to please everybody. It's whatever.
And there's going to be a Obi-Wan show with Ewan McGregor returning as Obi-Wan.
Oh.
And I think
That
heard
might be worth watching because he's reprising the role. I think that would actually make it fun.
and I
So 'cause
believe
now
that,
he can play like that age of him too, like what age he's at now. It's kind of cool.
yeah, and I believe they even have Hayden Christensen
That's not
going
necessary.
to be Darth Vader.
That's not necessary.
It's not, because I don't know if they're going to use him a lot.
I mean, he's not
As
doing
Hayden-
anything else, but
Well, I don't know if they're going to use him a lot.
yeah, as he's not going to be. You're not going to see his face ever unless they do an off helmet shot, which they could totally just get his permission and CGI it.
Well, the thing is, I was wondering, because obviously when he's in the suit, he's voiced by James Earl Jones. He's not
Right.
even his voice. So I guess unless they want to like do a couple of shots where his helmet's removed and he's healing or whatever, or if you do like flashback scenes where he's still Anakin.
Yeah, but he's going to be too old now because that was so long ago.
Well, they could just put up the money to do the de-aging if they want.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you've watched The Mandalorian, they didn't do a great job with that for Luke. So
yeah, but what maybe
when a little company like Cordo Crew can come in and just destroy your multi-million-dollar show on the quality of de-aging somebody.
Well, now hold on. So in most de-aging that we know of, the actual actor is performing the scenes,
right?
And then they just de-age their face to look like a younger version of themselves.
Yeah, they didn't do that in this case, but
in the Mandalorian case, it was not actually Mark Hamill,
right,
walking in as the voice Skywalker. Part of it. Yeah. So,
but the way, did you watch that Corridor Crew episode where they did that?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, they did the same thing. They had somebody else do it,
and they did do it better. Yeah,
so much better. The wig was bad, but
but also, I mean, even that short clip in Rogue One at the very end where you see Leia, a young Princess Leia,
bad.
It doesn't look. It's so funny.
I mean, it looks like her, but it's the problem is whenever you can make a character look like a character, they can do a really good job of that. It's once the character has to talk, that is where everything falls apart because it's so hard to copy lip movements and make it look right, and like the way your skin stretches and like your pores move, and like it's so hard to get it photo accurate that it ends up right in that uncanny valley, and it just takes you away from it. It's really rough.
The funny thing though is that so many examples where they do it in the Marvel movies is so good, and Marvel is owned by Disney and Star Wars is owned by Disney. So how do they not get it right with Star Wars, but they're nailing it with?
Just depends on which teams are working on it sometimes, but
I guess,
and
it's funny, like the whole thing with Black Panther, like a lot of that, where Black Panther, T'Challa and Killmonger are both like falling
that whole last fight scene is bad.
Right. But what I heard is that was like they had to rush to try to get that done in time.
Yeah, I think it was a deadline thing.
It's weird to think that even nowadays, and even in the world of like the Marvel machine, that things run like things get rushed. That it's not just planned out so far in advance that it's impossible for something to be falling behind schedule so badly. I think
what it is like, especially with those movies, is they plan the release dates of those movies before they ever start filming them. They're like, this movie's coming out at this time
before it's even written.
Pre-production. They're like in pre-production. Like they know they're going to film it. They don't have a finished script yet, but everything's planned so far out, and it's all this meticulous planning. So one thing goes wrong, and then they just have to rush shit out, and it's just a mess. It's like, just make your movie. We'll wait for it. I'd rather have an excellent movie than, an excellent script with a shit movie,
Yeah. That's what's funny about movies in general. Whenever you hear that, they didn't have time to get this or they ran out of time. I
understand running out of money. I don't understand running out of time.
Well, and I get that, a studio is putting forth the money to make this thing, right? So they obviously want it to be good, because they want to be able to get their money back, right? tenfold. You know, they want to be able to just make
unless you double your budget nowadays, it's a failure.
It's a failure, right? So why would you put some kind of time constraint on the actual production of the movie when I know, but
it's money. It's just all about money.
It's money, but in the end, if it looks awful, you're going to end up losing that much more money in people actually seeing it.
I think when it comes to Marvel movies at this point,
well, I'm not even talking about Marvel movies.
Quality doesn't matter. Movie. Okay, so you're talking about any movie. Okay,
any movie.
You hear
stories about people saying that they didn't have time to get this part in, or they didn't have time to do this, or we really wanted to do this thing, but the studio was pressuring us to get it done in time, and so all these things they wanted to do, they couldn't do. It's like, in that moment, that amount of money might increase because you might have to pay the crew another day or two of wages to get the shot you want or to get the effect you want, right? But if it's going to make the movie, the end product that much better, the potential in increased ticket sales is huge, and word of mouth, critics, like so many things affect how well a movie does in theaters.
That's why I kind of like when some people kind of do that guerrilla filming style where they're like, we couldn't get the permits, we couldn't do this or that. Screw it, we're just going to go do it. We'll just go and do it, and we'll get yelled at. We'll get in trouble. But boom, I think the movie El Mariachi, there's a whole big scene where there's like a big chase scene through like the streets and stuff.
Yeah,
they couldn't get the permits for it, and they were fighting and fighting. So he's finally he took a small crew of people. And he's like, it was Robert Rodriguez. So just took a small crew of people. He's like, screw it, we're just going to film it with like in the streets, and it's just going to be traffic, and we're just going to deal with it. And they did it, and it's like in the end it paid off because that movie did very well for what its budget was and stuff. And it's just like sometimes you just do it and then ask for forgiveness later. They screw it, we just did it, and we didn't have to pay them for the day or whatever. We just went and freaking did it.
I heard a story about one part of the first Terminator movie where Arnold like punches through the window of a car. That wasn't their car. That was someone's car on the street.
They just punched a random car.
They're like, we don't have any permissions to do any of this, but we need this shot because it's all important for part of the movie, the story. Right. Let's just go punch out this car's window, and then we'll deal with it. We'll deal with it later. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
And it's funny because obviously Terminator 2 was way bigger than Terminator 1, but you think of the Terminator franchise as a huge movie franchise, and you can't even think that it started off where they're doing shady stuff like that just to get the movie made.
It's that thing of just the first movie is such a risk. A lot of times you're like, is this going to work? And then you've realized, oh crap, this was ridiculously huge. Like the first Star Wars.
Let's make another one.
They didn't know,
it's an
didn't
indie
know
film.
if people were going to like it or whatever. And especially how ballsy it was to start off this thing saying episode 4, and you're like, what the fuck?
Well, they didn't do that.
Well, that came later.
I don't know. You know what? I'm thinking of something else.
Okay.
I don't know when the episode number came into play, so maybe it was from the beginning.
I think it was right off the jump.
I was mistaking. It wasn't called A New Hope at first. It was just called Star Wars. So maybe the episode number was from the jump.
I could be wrong, but I think it was, and if so, what a ballsy move.
Yeah.
But then it immediately is just like, well, what happened in 1, 2, and 3? Like what? Oh, and then we found out, and we were not happy.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, yeah, the prequels. The story of the prequels I'm okay with. It's just there's some bad CGI and some bad acting.
Well, the CGI was probably good for its time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But I think the fact that it was so heavily CGI'd, there was almost no practical effects versus the original trilogy, which were almost all practical effects. So that I have my issue with the prequels is that I could never by Anakin Skywalker being having any bit of a moral compass or being a decent person, because I'm like, I know how he turns out.
Yeah.
So it's telling a story you already know the ending to. So it's like, I don't care how I get from here to here. I already know how it ends. So
how am I going to? Oswald did a whole thing on that, which was great.
Did he?
Yeah. It's like,
It's
I don't
like, how am
care
I
where
gonna-
the stuff I like comes from. I just like the stuff I like.
Yeah. But how am I going to see him in any bit of a compassionate person or
Yeah.
someone that could
Like-
love someone or, I can't see any of
It's
those.
because he loved so much.
Right.
That was his downfall. He loved so
loved
much
too
that
much.
it turned him evil.
Darth Vader, he loved
You know?
too much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What can you do?
But we won't. Well, you know what? This
He's
is
a
funny.
Good son, terrible father.
For different reasons, we talked about all 3 trilogies of Star Wars.
Sort of, yeah.
For different reasons.
Yeah. We didn't bring up the last movie.
You're
Which
right.
I honestly, me and you went and saw it that time. That's the only time I've seen it or even really thought about it since, because I was just so unhappy with that last movie.
So I know I saw it twice.
Yeah, you saw it the second time with me out here.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if the first time I saw it was with you or the second time I saw it was with you.
I think it was the second time.
So the first time I think I was with Leo, and I don't know if I was with anyone else.
Yeah.
But it's I did, since I already knew what was coming, like I already knew what it was, it helped me kind of enjoy it a little more the second time around, because I knew not to expect anything other than what it is.
Yeah.
But I do not want to be in JJ's shoes in that time, because
yeah, coming off of Last Jedi was tough, I think.
Oh yeah. Well,
Last Jedi was kind of a shit show, because Last Jedi, basically, and this is just turned into a Star Wars podcast now.
It has,
everything that he set up with Force Awakens, then Last Jedi just nah.
Yep.
We don't want to. Oh, this really awesome silver fucking stormtrooper. She's just gonna fall to her death.
Yeah.
Oh, this really badass dark side guy, the new fucking emperor kind of guy. We're just gonna kill him off super easy. Not really gonna think about it.
Spoiler warning for all 9
sorry.
Saga films and the 2 standalone Rogue One and Solo as well.
And yeah, what else did we talk about?
Let's talk about Ewoks Battle for Endor now.
Movies that Kevin Bacon was in. Sorry if you didn't want to know the movies he was in. If you were trying to discover that on your own, sorry.
Is that a spoiler? To know who's in? I guess some people sometimes it is a spoiler to know who is in a movie.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't want to say
that movie that we both recently were talking about that has to do with spectral entities and disposing of them. I think that was good code. Nobody knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, I think I got it.
It took you long enough, so I think the rest of them might not figure it out.
Yes, yes. Because before you started that, I had a completely different movie in my mind, so I was trying to see if it was somehow connected to that. But no, it's not that.
What movie were you thinking about?
The movie that involved
in code.
Enhanced men.
Universal Soldier. From the 90s? No, okay, not that one. Okay, Enhanced Men.
Well, I wasn't done.
Okay,
I wasn't
keep going.
just gonna go off of Enhanced Men.
So many different movies. Magic Mike?
Was Magic Mike enhanced?
I don't know. They were just ripped dudes who were strippers, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you know a lot about that movie. Well, I guess compared to me.
I literally said that much of it, and I'm sure you knew that much about it.
Yes, I did.
So there you go. I don't know more than you do.
I don't know. Spider-Man. I was talking about Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. Well, I think at this point everybody fucking knows. I haven't even watched it yet, and I know.
Yeah.
They weren't really the trailers were kind of alluding that it was going to happen. I mean, the trailer immediately had Doc Ock in it, and then you hear goblins laugh, and it's clearly Willem Dafoe's crazy face. Well, it's crazy voice, but it's attached to his face.
I will say, because I've seen that movie, and you said you haven't yet.
I have not.
I will say, the reason they're there and what they're trying to it's cool actually. It was a cool idea.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. I'm kind of at this point where I'm a little behind on the Marvel movies, and I want to continue to get them all in order.
Yeah.
So I still haven't done and I could probably not watch it, but I haven't done Black Widow and I haven't done Shang-Chi yet. I think those are the only 2 movies that have come out since. So,
The Eternals.
oh yeah, I'll probably watch that as well. I don't know.
Last
I
year
heard
was
that one's not great.
Last year was a 4 Marvel movie year because there
wasn't there a couple like a year previous that there wasn't any or something.
Yeah, like
I know Black Widow was like delayed over a year or something.
Black Widow was delayed, and I kind of feel like Shang-Chi was delayed too, but I could be wrong.
I think it was.
But yeah, so this year we're getting Doctor Strange 2, Thor 4. I don't remember if the second Captain Marvel movie is this year or not. That might be next year.
We're gonna get a Iron Man 4.
I don't think so.
It's just a single shot of a grave the entire time for 2 hours.
Oh,
too soon. Oh,
no. I guess it's not. It's a fictional character.
Not too soon. It's just bad taste.
The actor is still alive, so why am I like, come on?
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities that there would be another Iron Man movie of some, if his I think his daughter takes up the throne or that kid, or maybe that kid that he was
the Iron Man 3 kid,
the third one, yeah, because he was at the funeral scene in the movie. Spoilers,
yeah, spoilers for Endgame. Are we just going to talk about just movies now? And
I don't know. We've been talking for an hour and a half at this point. I mean,
yeah, we have.
This is what you get when we both come into an episode with absolutely nothing prepared. We didn't even discuss about the fact that we had nothing prepared today. We just jumped in and started recording. So
right. Well, I mean, I've been busy dealing with all this new place stuff. You've been busy not burning down your apartment.
Yeah. I successfully haven't burnt it down ever.
I can also say that
without effort. Yeah.
I can also say that I have successfully to date not burnt down my apartment.
Work's been crazy, so
I haven't burnt it up either.
Yeah. But have you burned one down?
No. Gosh, I still have to get my work computer set up somewhere.
Do you have to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should probably do that tonight.
I will. It's just a matter of where. If I had
do you have your kitchen table set up?
Yeah. I could. I'll probably
just
end up doing
it on there for a couple days until you get everything set up.
I'll probably do it there, but right now I don't have a desk to put it on.
Right.
So I'd either have.
You don't. I thought you had a desk.
It was just this cheap IKEA thing where you pick out the top and you pick out the 4 legs. It's not even like a package, and I didn't want to really have it anymore anyway.
Okay, you just leave it behind.
I had planned on getting a desk at some point, and then Sarah was like, "Are you going to take the IKEA desk?" I'm like, well, I guess that's what I've been working on, so I suppose." And she's like, "Oh, because I've got a thing I could use it for." I'm like, "Take it."
I will send you.
Yeah, some of these things give me an excuse to finally get the new thing I was wanting to get.
I could send you the link for the desk that I bought if you liked that L desk I have in my.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Cheap. I think it was like $90.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's not like
a desk. It's roomy as hell.
It's not metal and glass, right?
No, it's metal and fake wood.
Right? Because I used to have that metal and glass. It was a metal legs and a glass top, L-shaped.
Yeah,
desk.
I remember that one. Glass tops are so dangerous.
Yeah, and those are. I just don't like that anymore, and they're always around like $150 for one of those for some reason.
Well, and they're just so heavy. That glass is so heavy.
Yeah. And I hate cleaning it. You take the glass off, you clean both sides with Windex, and then you try not to drop it every single time you're cleaning every section of the glass.
Right.
There's usually 1, 2, 3, 4 glass sections you have to clean.
Yeah, this is just wipe down the top. Don't care about the bottom.
Yeah. That's how I live. That's my life. That's my motto.
Bye.
Bye.
We are on TikTok now, which makes us even cooler. HS Famous. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HS Famous Pod. Email us directly at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. We have Patreon too, but you'll never go there. Altogether, our hearts beat as one.